Alright, guys. Gamma's back at it again, banning people for, well, just about anything. A user posted some screenshots to the r/stalkered subreddit with the caption, "The screenshots that got me banned from Gamma Discord for posting unreleased leaks of Stalker 2. He attaches two pictures, and he continues to say in his post, "Some guy posted a screenshot of a dev build of Stalker 2, and I posted this after him, and some dumb moderator thought this was a leak. The screenshots are not that good. I don't know what was going through this guy's head." And he begs in the comments, "Grok, if you see this, unban me, please." One of the users points out in the comments below, "This looks nothing like leaked Stalker 2. The UI is literally from Gamma. The lighting is just old. There is no global illumination like in UE5. The weapon looks like it's made out of plastic like a toy gun, and not like a real scratched up gun. But for X-Ray 1.6, this looks incredible. This is simply peak graphical performance for a 20-plus-year-old engine. Beautiful. Gamma Discord just being stupid. Yet again." I agree a lot with this, actually. For modern standards, it's definitely not... It doesn't look like Stalker 2, right? For X-Ray, however, it looks fantastic. Like, you'd want to play this, right? Now, of course, you can say this is your typical power-hungry moderators, and this isn't exclusive to Gamma, the Gamma Discord, Discord in general. You could even say it's a Reddit problem, or just social media in general. My biggest hang-up on this personally is, if they ban for this, and they ban for whatever else they may want to ban for, what else can they ban for? What else will they? Where does the line end? I'm not doing this video out of hate for Gamma, although I will say it definitely makes up a good bit of it, but I want to make sure that people see this and say, hey, you know what? This is kind of fucked up, you know? Like, who is part of this team? Who works on, like, you know, who's involved, right? If you get too used to your power structure, you know, being able to abuse your power, I suppose, power tripping, you'll do whatever you want at the end of the day. There will be no repercussions for your actions. This isn't the first time this has happened either. There's been quite a few posts that I've seen where people say, "Oh, can you tag Grok? I want to get back in," but none of them, I would say, are really... They don't stand out. They're not as egregious as this. This is just some guy having fun, you know? So I can understand where it comes from. The moderator thinks, "Oh, this is a leaked build or whatever the fuck. I need to ban this guy." Why don't you warn him instead? You know, why don't you send a private message or something, you know, delete the message and say, "Hey, you know what? Maybe I should give a warning instead of just permanently ban this guy." You know, it's just really fucked up. I will say, I am personally in the Gamma Discord. I use it for the reach that it has. If I have a Gamma video that pertains to Gamma or around that topic, then I'll usually post it there. If I find a topic that I see that is interesting in the Gamma Discord, which doesn't really happen, I will comment on it. You know, I will be part of the discussion just like any other group. There's just some factors that I cannot get past, and favoritism, nepotism, this sort of shit is not something I can consider. And hopefully not something when the community can consider either. Of course, I understand whoever is part of the staff got to where they are, probably by, you know, previous experience, knowing someone. In other words, there's a reason for why they got where they are today, right? So it's not all unduly given positions. Hopefully, we can just chalk this up to a mistake. Grok can unban this guy like he's done countless other times in the past, and we can, well, move past this, but it would be nice to see some sort of, I don't know, maybe a warning or something. Just a bit more care given when these actions are taken. Because if you just constantly do this, you get ban hungry, per se, and you just ban, people will not like it, okay? It will end up turning people off from your community, even if it's not that many people at first. It will happen eventually, because they will see what has become of your community and they'll say, hey, you know what? I don't want to be part of this. So while I can say Gamma has made a number of contributions, there's a bunch of things that we may have now that we didn't before. Some shit's gotta change, man. I'm not really a fan of Croak to begin with, but if I was the creator like this, of this huge mod, he says he's constantly working, which I'm not really sure I believe. He says he's constantly working, refining scripts, whatever the case may be. He says he's constantly working. If you're constantly improving your mod, you're working on it, you're doing everything that you can to begin with. And then the staff team you employ that you rely on is fucking up again and again. Do you want to keep stepping in and fixing things? You might need an admin later on to do shit for you, right? But if your team can't do the shit that you trust them to do, I just don't get it, man. If I were to put myself in Groke's shoes, I would get fucking sick really quick, is all I'm saying. If I were to put myself in Groke's shoes, I would get sick pretty fucking quick, is all I'm saying. Of course, I'm not him. I'm not from France. I can't say he's a very patient person. The only thing I really can do from my end is read his post history in Discord and ModDB and see how some of his opinions vary pretty substantially from other ones, because on one end, he'll get upvoted pretty well, and on the other hand, he'll be fucking downvoted to oblivion because of some shit he says. So he doesn't always hit the mark, which is pretty interesting to see. I remember reading a comment somebody put on a post a few days ago saying, oh, well, Groke didn't know that Gamma would be covered by these famous YouTubers, that it would grow hugely to the popularity that it has today, that it would become the biggest stalker mod there is. And that's true. Nobody really thinks that. Before Gamma, Anomaly was the biggest stalker mod there was, and it was, constantly winning shit on ModDB. It was on like the top of ModDB for a while, it was getting awards or some shit, right? And now we have Gamma, so there's just a lot that happens all at one time. It's a lot to take in. And if I was Groke, I would want to be careful how I approach things, knowing that I am now the de facto figurehead of Stalker going forward, at least until, GSC comes back into the game, which they have. But for the modding community, that I am the figurehead, I am the symbol that everyone will see, that everyone wants to play. And keeping that in mind, I would want to take care in how I approach my community, right? Because he has cultivated his own community. I could talk about this for far longer than I really want to. I want to keep this succinct and short. I'm sorry for keeping you this long. I hope these issues get resolved and that more care is taken going forward. Like, dislike, comment, whatever. I'm out.